Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your Mac OS terminal from this monstrosity to this beauty right here. And I'm going to walk you through literally every step. I'm going to do this in a virtual machine so that I'm doing everything from a fresh OS X environment. I'm not going to have anything pre-installed from my usual setup. And as you can see here, you're even going to have syntax highlighting when typing in commands. You're going to have some extra functionality for searching for files. You're going to have some nice icons when you're listing directories, and the list goes on and on. So let's not waste any time here. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see, we have a freshly installed Mac OS here. And unfortunately, it's Ventura, but that's not going to matter for our purposes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Launchpad here, and we're just going to search for Terminal. So this is the terminal application that comes default with your Mac operating system. And we're not going to use this one. We're actually going to replace this with another application that provides more features and configurations. But for now, you should have this terminal on your system, and the default shell should be ZSH. So if you see up here, it says ZSH. And actually, if you type in echo $ and then 0, it'll tell you what your default shell is. So if your default shell isn't ZSH and it's something like bash or something, you're going to want to change your shell to ZSH. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to type in change shell or CHSH and then -s and then bin ZSH. And sorry, my mouse is in the way, but you're going to type in this command with this S flag, and you're going to type in bin ZSH. And if you hit that, it's going to ask you for your password, and you'll enter your password. And as you can see, it says no changes made because my default shell is already ZSH, but if yours is bash or something like that, then it should switch your default shell to ZSH. Now, once we know that we have our default shell as ZSH, we're going to go ahead and install a different terminal. So let me make this bigger. So basically, we're not going to use this monstrosity anymore. We're going to install a new terminal. So you're going to go to your web browser, and you're just going to type into Google iTerm2. And it's going to be this first hit, most likely. And here, you're just going to hit this large download button. And it's just going to ask if you want to allow, and then we're going to go ahead and allow. And once it's finished downloading, you can just click on that, and it's going to ask you to move it to the applications folder, and it's also going to ask you to install the command line developer tools if you don't already have those installed. And I warn you, this is going to take a little while to install if you don't already have it installed, but nonetheless you need to install it. So you'll just hit install, and of course sell your soul, and this is going to take 41 hours and 38 minutes. I'm just kidding though. It's wrong. It's probably going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. So you're just going to have to wait for that to install. Okay, now once that is finished installing, you can just go ahead and hit done, and we'll just check updates automatically here. And it should automatically open up iTerm2, a shell. We're going to need to make sure we're in our home directory first. So you can just type in CD, and if you type in CD, it'll take you to your home directory if you're not already there. So if you just print working directory, you'll see what your home directory looks like. So instead of YouTube, it'll be the name of your account. But anyways, you should be in this home directory, and in this home directory, there's a configuration file for ZSH, which is your shell. And let me just make this bigger actually. So yeah, if you recall, our shell is ZSH. That's the shell we're using, Z shell. And the configuration file for Z shell is a hidden file in your home directory. So in order to see files in a directory or in the current directory, you can just type ls. But this isn't going to show hidden files. And sorry, it's not just files. It shows files and folders, everything in the directory. But this isn't going to show hidden files. If you want to see hidden files, you'll have to set the flag for showing the hidden files. So actually, when I type ls, I just default to putting in LAH. And when you do that, it's going to show hidden files as well. So hidden files are files that have a dot at the beginning of them. So if you were to check inside of this folder from like the Finder, and in Mac it has to be configured to show your home directory here, and I don't feel like doing that, but if you were to, let's just do desktop for example. So if we change directory to desktop, and let's clear this, and we ls here, and we'll just say okay. If we ls here, we have nothing on our desktop right now, right? But I can create a file by typing in the command touch. This is going to create a file. And I can put a period, and then I'll just put my name, and then touch, and then that's going to create a hidden file. So if I type ls, that file won't show. But if I type ls lah, you can see the file here. But if you actually go to your desktop, and let's move all of this stuff out of the way. And this is terminal, so we can just close that. You'll see that the file doesn't show. But if we go back to iTerm and we type move, and we'll remove the period. So move is, it moves a file, but you can also use it to change the name of a file. So this is the original name of the file, and this is the name that you want to change it to. And then you can just go ahead and hit enter there. And now if we type ls, you can see the file. And if we move this here, you can see the file here as well. So that's a brief explanation of a hidden file. So we can change directory back to our home directory because we don't want to be in the desktop anymore. And in here, the configuration file for Z shell or ZSH is a hidden file. So we could do ls, lah, and the configuration file is going to be a hidden file in this directory, but actually it's not there yet. So we need to create it. So we can do touch, which will create the file, and we'll do .zshrc. And then we can clear. So you should have created this empty ZSHRC file. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our browser and just type in oh my ZSH into Google. And we're going to go to this website here, and we're going to hit install oh my ZSH. And here it gives us two options to install. We can either install it using a command called wget, or we can install it using curl. And I believe wget comes default on Linux systems, but not on Mac. So let's see. If you do which wget, you can see if it's there. And it says wget not found. So we can actually use the curl installation because that comes default on Mac. So if we do which curl, you'll see it'll tell you the curl binary is at user bin curl. So we can go ahead and copy this and just paste it into our terminal and press enter. And now it installed oh my ZSH. And basically this is going to allow us to configure our shell like with some custom themes and layouts and stuff like that. So you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So we'll clear. And actually, I think when you install oh my ZSH, it actually installs that ZSHRC file that we just created as well. So this file here, this ZSHRC file, I think when we installed oh my ZSH, this file was created by oh my ZSH. So it probably overwrote our empty file. So maybe there's some configuration in here now. So let's open the file and see. So throughout this video, whenever I'm opening and editing a file, I'm going to use Vim because it's what I'm most comfortable with, but I'm pretty sure Nano comes configured with macOS as well. So you can do like nano.zshrc. Yeah, and it'll open it with Nano, but actually I don't know how to use Nano. Actually, I don't even know how to quit. So let's see, exits Control X. No. But anyways, I use Vim, so I'm going to open the file using Vim. But yeah, as you can see, oh my ZSH already populated this file with the configuration for our Z shell, but we're actually not going to use their configuration because I have a configuration already made for this that you guys can just copy from my GitHub. So we're gonna go ahead and delete everything in this file. So now this file is completely empty, and we're gonna go back to the browser, and you can just type in SE like a pro GitHub. And you can go to this GitHub page here, which is my GitHub, and whoa, there's my face. And you're just gonna click repositories and click this repository Kantan ZSH. And you don't need to clone this repository or anything. This is the ZSH file that I'm talking about. All you have to do is click the file and then click this copy button here. and it'll copy the contents of the file. And then you can go back into your terminal and you can open that ZSHRC file with whatever you're comfortable with using. And you can just paste the contents of that file into this file. And as soon as you do that, there are some changes that we're going to have to make to this file. So first of all, if you go to the top of the file, so this is the very top of the file, you're going to notice that there are going to be some paths in here with my home directory. So it's going to have users Giorgio, but like you're going to want to change this to your home directory. So if I quit this and again, I type, let me clear this first. And again, I type pwd, that's how you see what your home directory is. So users YouTube is the home directory for this particular user. So if I go back into that file, I'm gonna need to change all of these users Giorgio to users YouTube. And you're gonna need to do the same for your name. So you'll change this to your user's name. And actually there are a couple of occurrences of this, so make sure you get them all. So there's another one here as well. So this line here that says export ZSH, and actually this is the most important one. So make sure you change this one to your user's name. And let me just check just in case. And I think I got them all. So there's 2 of them. So make sure you get both of those and change them to your user's name. So now, whenever we make changes to this ZSHRC file, this config file, in order for the changes to take effect, we have to essentially restart the shell or reload the shell. And the way we're going to do that is by typing in source and then just ZSHRC. And when we do that, you're going to notice that your shell is going to change. It's going to have some colors added to it, and it's going to have this layout, which can actually be changed to your specification, something that you like. But for now, we're going to use this one, and you're going to notice that you get these errors here. And the first error is can't find Ruby. We're going to get to that. Don't worry about it. And these ones as well, we're gonna get to them. We're gonna fix all of these errors, so don't worry. But for now, you can see that we have this layout here. And we'll also get to how you can change the color of your shell as well. So first, let's finish the configuration. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is start to resolve these errors. So we're going to need to install Homebrew. So if we go back to our web browser, just type into Google Homebrew install. And let me change this to English. So it's going to be this brew.sh. You're going to go ahead and click that. And this is how you install Homebrew on macOS. So it's going to tell you to paste this into terminal or Linux shell prompt. So we can just go ahead and copy this. And if you notice, it's using the bash shell, but it's fine. You can use the bash shell still, even if your default shell is ZSH. Because if you see, if we do which bash, we do still have this bash binary. And just go ahead and paste that in and then just hit enter. And you're gonna need sudo access, which is super user access to install this. So you're gonna have to put in your password. And it's basically saying the following new directories will be created. And it's telling you all of these directories are gonna be created, and you can just press enter. And once that's done installing, we can go ahead and clear, and we'll just do source ZSHRC again. And I spelled source wrong. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to address this error here, and we're going to install Ruby, and we're going to use Homebrew, which is what we just installed, to install Ruby. And the way to do that is you just type in brew install Ruby. And once that's installed, we can go ahead and do source ZSHRC once again. And you'll notice here that we still have this error, but it's because this error isn't necessarily complaining about us not having Ruby. It's complaining about us not having this color ls library. But this library depends on Ruby, so we had to install Ruby first. But to install this library, we're going to go to Safari and just type into Google color ls. And you can just go to this GitHub page here. And color ls just basically makes typing ls look pretty. It shows like icons and stuff for the files and stuff like that. So essentially it'll make it look similar to something like this. So we can just look for the installation instructions. And let's see if installing Ruby enables us to use this gem install color ls. So let's go ahead and paste that in. Okay, so it's saying we don't have write permissions. So just type in sudo and then gem install color ls, and you'll need to put in your password. And now let's see if we still get that error. Okay, so that error is gone, so that means Color LS should be installed. So now let's try to open ZSHRC, Color LS. So here you can see that I have an alias where I'm aliasing our original ls command to use Color LS group directories first. So you don't need to configure this, it's already in the configuration file. So now your original ls command is going to use Color LS. And to use the old version of ls, you're going to have to type in LSS, or you can name this whatever you want, but I named it LSS. So we can quit this file, and if we type LSS, you see it has the plain version of ls here. But if we type in the original ls, you see that it shows this prettier looking version, but the icons aren't showing yet. So we have to fix that, but we'll fix that in a little bit. Let's just resolve the rest of these errors first. So the other errors, it's saying that there's no such file or directory for ZSH syntax highlighting and ZSH auto suggestions. So we need to install these using Homebrew. So we can install it, brew install auto suggestions. And I'll show you what this is going to do in a second. And once that's installed, we should be able to run source ZSHRC. And that error is gone. So let me show you what auto suggestions is actually doing. So now if we type source again, you can see that it has ZSHRC, like it's predicting that this is what we want to type because we've been typing that every time we've used it, every time we've used source. So you can just like tab complete it and you don't have to finish typing the rest of it. So it becomes useful because if you're lazy, you don't have to keep typing things over and over. So for example, if we had like a really long command, so let's type in a really long command like this. If we did that and we were to type that again, now once we type in A, we can just tab complete it, even though this isn't a command, but it's just an example. So let's do source ZSH again, and we need to install this ZSH syntax highlighting. And this is cool as well. It's going to actually highlight syntax for your commands. So for example, right now, if we were to type in a command with some syntax, there wouldn't be any syntax highlighting. So let me show you. So if we were to do like sed and $find, if we were to do this command, actually that was a bad idea to do the command in this directory. Anyways, don't hit enter on that command. But if we were to do this command, you can see here that there's no syntax highlighting. Let me clear this. So you can see it's just plain white, right? There's no difference in colors and it's not really easy to read, right? So if we go ahead and install ZSH syntax highlighting, so I'm pretty sure we can just do brew install ZSH syntax highlighting. Now we can go ahead and do clear. And if we do that same command, we need to source ZSHRC. And if we do that same command, you see we now have syntax highlighting. Like we have pink here for this $sign in the parentheses, and find is in green, and like the string is in yellow. And these colors are going to depend on the actual color theme that you're using for your shell, and we'll get into how to change that soon. But anyways, that is the syntax highlighting. And as you notice, at this point, we don't have any errors when we source our ZSH configuration file. So we've successfully resolved all of those errors. So now there are a couple more things we need to do. First of all, our ls isn't working properly because these icons aren't showing. And I also want to show you how to change the color of the theme and actually change the layout of your theme as well. So let's start with the layout of your theme. So first, you're going to go back to your web browser and type into Google, oh my ZSH themes. And this themes, oh my ZSH GitHub repo is where you want to go. And here, let me make this bigger so you can actually see the themes. If we scroll down, these are all of the themes that you can choose from. So you can go through and look at these and see which ones you like. They're all different kinds. Like this one's a little more, I guess, verbose, and they have really minimal ones as well. So just basically pick one that meets your fancy, like whatever you think looks the coolest. And don't worry about the colors because we can change the colors. So just when you're looking at this, just look at like the layout and see if you like it. Like this has a little cloud here. and it has this Thunderbolt, which means that I think it means that you've made changes to the Git repository or the Git branch that you're on. And this X as well means you've made changes that haven't been committed, I think. But yeah, you can just pick one of these, go through them, and find one that you like. And once you find one that you like, all you have to do is get the name of it. The name's going to be right above it, and you can just copy the name. So let's say we want to use this Aussie Geek. We can copy the name, copy this, copy the name, and then just go into your ZSHRC file, and you're gonna scroll down a little bit until you reach this here that says ZSH theme. And you can just change this name to whatever name you just copied. So I'll just go ahead and change this here. So I changed that to Aussie Geek, and I can go ahead and save that. And then you can source, and it didn't change. 1 second. Maybe we should exit. Oh, so it changed after I exit. So you might have to do that as well. So it's as simple as that. That's how you change the theme. I already set up the config for you. So all you have to do is change this ZSH theme here. And that is how you set up your theme. So now let's move on to actually customizing the colors. So to customize the colors, you just want to go back to your web browser, and you want to type in iTerm2 color schemes, and it's going to be iTerm2colorschemes.com, and you're going to go ahead and click that. And let me zoom in here so you can see the beauty. So you'll have all of these really cool looking color schemes that you can choose from. Yeah, but you have a bunch of color schemes that you can choose from, and to install them, so let's just hit this zip folder and let's see if that downloads the colors. I actually don't remember. Color schemes. Yeah, this should be it. And then there's this schemes folder, and I assume that has all of the schemes. Okay, so you're going to want to move this from the downloads folder to somewhere where you're not going to accidentally delete it. Like me, I usually delete everything in the downloads folder. I'll just move it to desktop. So we have this folder here that we just downloaded from that color theme site on our desktop. And iTerm2, we're going to want to hit iTerm2 up here at the top left, and hit settings, and I believe it's profiles. Let me make sure. Colors tab, click load presets. It says Command I. Okay, so scratch what I just told you. Just hit Command I, and when you hit Command I, hit this colors tab, and then I guess this colors preset import. So we're gonna just put them all there. So we'll go to desktop, go into this folder, and there's another subfolder called schemes. And I think we could just command all. Let's do command all. Yeah, so we do command all on this schemes folder, and we'll just hit open. And let's see if that works. Oh, it's loading. And if there are duplicates, I guess if you hit cancel, it'll only cancel that one, I hope. So now if we hit Command I again, and we go to colors, if we go to presets, we should have 1,000 more color presets, which we do. All right, so now you can just go here and cycle through these and find one that looks cool. And I change mine quite often. Recently, I haven't been changing it because I've been lazy, but yeah, sometimes I get tired of the color scheme that I'm using, and I'll just change it. All right, I'll just use this one for now, Bro Grammar. And now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually change the font of the terminal to my favorite font. And for those of you that have been asking me what font I use in the comment section for the past year or so, the reason I haven't been responding to those comments is because I planned on making a video on this and I just never got around to it. So yeah, here is your answer. So basically my favorite font is, let me go to our browser here, and we can just go back to Color LS because Color LS had the link to the fonts. So if we go to this download link here, it's going to take us to this Nerd Fonts page. And for those of you that have been asking, it's literally right here at the top. This is the font that I always use in all of my videos that everybody's always asking about. So it's Agave Nerd Font. And I use this on literally everything on every laptop, every computer that I have. So you can go ahead and download this font, but actually, let me check something in these. documentation instructions. So actually I want to install the font using Homebrew because then it'll handle all of the directories and stuff for me. I don't feel like moving anything around. So let's just search for Brew. So we can just first we'll do Brew Tap Cask Fonts. So let's copy that and paste it into here. And then we'll take this, copy it, and we'll hit enter here, but we'll change this to, and let's see if that works. And it says Cask Agave Nerd font is unavailable, to install font. So it's wrong. So it can be, we can just use this, brew install, copy this, and then just paste that. Okay, so the font's installed. So we'll go to settings, text, and font. And we have this font. And let's put the size up a little bit. So let's go ahead and exit really quick. And open this back up. And that is the font. So the font is set correctly. But for some reason, my color isn't set anymore. So let me see something. Okay, let's see. So apparently we need to create a profile. So we'll go back here, settings. So if you go into settings and you go to the profile tab, right now we're on our default profile. But when we were pressing Command I don't think we're actually editing our profile. So here, when we're on this default profile, and we can create another one as well, new profile, and we can change the text and all that stuff again, but let's just do the default one for now. And we can go to colors while we're in this profile. And then now we can change the color. And since we changed it in the default profile, it should be persisted. It should save. So if we exit and then go back, yeah, the color is saved now. So let's get back to finishing this. So if we ls here, oh, it looks like adding the font actually added the icons as well. So let's see, if I create a Docker file, it should have a file, okay? And what about touch program.py? Yeah, and it should show the Python icon. Okay, yeah. And actually, I think sometimes Docker files should show like a whale or something. Yeah, I don't know. But so now we have our icons. And honestly, this color is really ugly. But you know how to change it. So now we have our icons, we have our font, we have our ZSH theme, our Oh My ZSH theme, and we have our colors, which we can change whenever we want. And that's pretty much it. That's how you make your terminal into something that you enjoy looking at. And you should really take the time to make your terminal and your coding experience as fun and enjoyable as possible, because you're going to be spending many hours doing this. So you really want to have something that's appealing to the eyes. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. And yeah, I look forward to hearing about the color and theme combinations that you guys come up with. And for those of you that don't actually like my font, I mean, I kind of assumed everybody liked the font because everybody keeps asking me about it. But for those of you that don't like the font, you can always go and download different fonts. The site's called nerdfonts.com. And yeah, just remember, you can go to settings and go to profile, and then you can create different profiles. So you can have like different colors for different profiles. So you can just switch between colors and fonts on the fly. So you can have multiple of these. So just have fun with it, customize it, and enjoy. And I'll see you in the next one.